Сегодня несколько человек узнают о том, что мы сделали для человечества.
Групп подтвердила правила игры?
Да, самое главное захватить ядерное оружие, чтобы это не стоило.
Как с французской полицией?
Если бомба взорвется, то будет обвинять Россию. Тогда миллионы погибнут. Ты помнишь, последний раз мы здесь были по Триумфальной арке, могилы неизвестного солдата. Помнишь, что ты сказал? Что если бы люди осознали, какое воздействие мы оказываем на мир. Да, сегодня несколько человек узнают о том, что мы сделали для человечества. Погрузиться, распространить энергию. Все готовы? Давай, жми на газ. Давай.
It really is unbelievable. What you're watching here is footage from the game Battlefield 3, which was released in 2011. And in the game, the player has to take on a mission in which they need to neutralise a terrorist threat in Paris, France. And guess what date this threat takes place on? Yeah, you got it right. It's the 13th of November. Pre-programming at its finest.
Dragovich's second-in-command, Kravchenko, was operating in Laos.
That Reznov said they killed more people than I could count.
Listen to me carefully, Mason. Reznov cannot be trusted. No matter what he tells you, no matter what he says.
But he gave us the dossier on Clark. He led us to Nova 6.
Reznov's not who you think he is.
No, he's my friend. He helped me escape. God, betrayed, forgotten, abandoned, all brothers, huh?
Forget Reznov! Focus, Mason! We're out of fucking time! The world is on the fucking brink of war!
Whose war? Who the fuck are you anyway? Huh? God, I just keep hearing the fucking numbers!
It's a broadcast, Mason. The numbers are a broadcast. You've been brainwashed. You were cleared for duty and summoned to the Pentagon.
Jason Hudson was my new handler.
This is it.
Why the Pentagon?
Hudson couldn't tell me. He didn't have clearance.
Your convoy's ready, sir. Welcome to the Pentagon. We're late.
Secretary McNamara?
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
Step on it.
Nothing less than our national security is at stake. He has no fear, no conscience, no weakness. This is Nikita Dragovich. I believe you two have already met.
When do I kill him?
We're lucky to have you back, Mason. VIP.
He's here. I felt like everyone was watching us. And watching me. think you couldn't trust anyone. Sometimes even yourself.
That's why we're here, Mason. To see
Finest
if we
people
can
in the
trust
world,
you.
right here. 24/7. It never ends.
We were watching you the whole time.
It's not possible.
I was in the Pentagon.
Please tell him we're here.
At once, sir.
Mr. President?
Agent Mason,
Great honor, Mr. President.
sit. We are in grave danger from the communists. Our freedom, our very way of life is at risk. Dragovich. I'm told that you are the very best that we have. Anywhere. You will need to be. Mr. Mason, take care of it.
Victor Reznov's been dead for 5 years. He died at Vorkuta during the escape. All the years you thought he was with you, that was just in your mind. I trusted him. That's why it worked. It was their attempt at MK-Ultra. Dragovich programmed you to kill Kennedy, but Reznov sabotaged you. He wanted revenge for all that Dragovich done to him. Dragovich, Kurchenko, Steiner, 3 new victims. There are gaps in your memory. Periods where you went MIA and we couldn't account for you. But now that the brainwashing's been broken, all that lost time will come back. We need to leave. The Nova 6 strike is imminent. Hundreds of sleeper agents, hidden in every state capital, are about to unleash this poison on your own countrymen. When Steiner died, we lost our key to unlocking the location of number broadcasts. You were programmed at Vorkuta to translate the number codes. Only you can tell us what the codes mean. Nova 6 was just one of the sleeper operations, but I'm sure there were others. Ones we didn't even know about. We have the broadcasts. We played them to you over and over again for hours, but we haven't been able to break through your programming yet. Mason, this is our last shot. Listen, for God's sake, listen again.
21-7, 21-4-2, 14-3, 14-7, 18-13-6, 22.
Do with him what you wish, General. It's my gift to you, in honor of our new relationship.
Vorkuta! You don't know what we did to you.
The subject has been successfully implanted with the knowledge to translate the number sequences.
I love strawberry milkshake. It's perhaps my favorite American thing. So simple. Just milk and ice cream. The rest of the menu, however, I think you will need to address. I think it needs to be more German. Yes! Tell me, are you from here, John Smith? Huh? I read here that you operate out of Station 6. What is the location of Station 6? I'm unfamiliar with this station. Speak up.
Kommandant, Sie werden vom Oberkommando verlangt.
War das nicht Zeit? Trink grad noch meine Erdbeermilch.
Leider nicht, Kommandant. Das Oberkommando verlangt, Sie umgehend zu sehen.
In Ordnung, ich komme schon. Mein Gott. Oh mein Gott, das bist du. Das bist du! Blazkowicz, shut the fucking front door!
Not that I don't trust you, Blazkowicz, but there's nothing saying you couldn't be wearing a mask made to look like William J. Blazkowicz to hide your alien space lizard facial traits. So, I need the password that Grace gave you.
She didn't give me one. Right. Off with the mask. Show me your lizard face, motherfucker. Super Special, lower your weapon before I break your arm or put your lights out.
I
Who is you, Terror Billy? I was just fucking with you. Come follow me. Hey. So, welcome to Mission Control. I haven't had much of a chance to clean up around here. I'm sorry about that. It's, good stuff. This shit right here. It keeps the signals from getting through. Very effective against alien mind-reading devices. How's Grace? Good. Baby Abby? Fine as cream gravy. Christ, I miss her. Even the pissing in the face part. You know? Maybe I miss that the most. Little fucker.
So what have you been doing down here, Super Special?
This place? My papa and me used this place to collect all the evidence we could find of the government cover-up. Cookie? It's been more than a decade now. Summer of 47. I was the same year I quit working as a lawyer. In the year I joined the Black Revolutionary Front, after I got Grace acquitted from that murder charge that the goddamn FBI pigs trumped up against her. Anyway, one night, Papa heard something on the police frequency, and he brought me up north to Murphy's Ranch, where we found this flying saucer-like thing that crashed into the ground. And wouldn't you know it, the U.S. motherfucking military swooped in and quarantined off the entire purview. Gave us some kind of bullshit story about a weather balloon. They were lying out of their asses, because we made off with some actual hard evidence. Here, take a look at this. Pulled that baby right out of the crash site. Now, does that look like something that came off a weather balloon? This place is where we kept the records and started surveilling what the military is up to. Papa built most of it.
So you reckon what you saw was a spaceship?
I'm not saying it's a flying saucer from outer space, but it was clearly extraterrestrial in origin, if you catch my drift. It's all fucking connected, man. If you trace the chain of causation, you find yourself in a secret underground facility about 10 clicks east of Roswell, up by Bottomless Lakes, Area 52. Our government captured an alien flying saucer, and they stored the salvaged bodies and technology in an underground vault. Everyone was involved. The FBI pigs, the military pigs, even the goddamn King President pig himself. Check this shit out. What? Area 52, Area 51, over here, Area 48, Area 56, all over the Southwest. Nevada, New Mexico. It's one gigantic complex, and it's connected by underground train tunnels. Look at the pictures. Plasma guns, mind control, anti-gravity engines. And after our coward-ass government surrendered to the fucking Nazi pigs, our new masters took over all these bases, and they kept doing their own experiments to further their own fascist agenda. Look at this. This whole thing is the Area 52 military compound. Up here, it's the Nazi head honchos installed the fucking Oberkommando. But down here below, is a cavernous vault full of all kinds of weird-ass technology, alien shit. It's all down there. Now, I haven't seen it myself, but it's there.
Well, whatever it is, it ain't Martian.
Okay, all right. Nobody knows for sure exactly what kind of technology we're dealing with, but it's most likely space alien-based.
It ain't space aliens. I talked.
How the fuck do you know? Are you some kind of expert on all things extraterrestrial now? Look, I've been a lawyer a long fucking time, and I know a motherfucking conspiracy when I see one. Now, okay, I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's fucking space aliens!
In 2013, Chicago realized the promise of smart cities with CTOS, a citywide operating system merging big data with surveillance, security, and transit programs. With a few hundred lines of code, hackers were able to hijack its central servers and cripple the entire grid. Many believed the attack would be a killing blow for smart city development. They were wrong. Coordinated from the heart of Silicon Valley, CTOS 2.0 has been implemented across the United States, ushering in the Internet of Things. 6.4 billion connected devices now serve as collection points, mapping and recording our daily routines, making a more secure and more invasive system. But who else is listening? Big Brother no longer works alone. Thousands of little brothers monitor and aggregate your every move, building a complete digital profile of you to be bought, sold, or stolen in an instant. Toys study your children, reporting their play habits back to marketers. Appliances, consoles, and home security systems give corporations a window into your private life. Control of your vehicle and mobile device can now be breached remotely by anyone at any time. You may think that you are immune or underestimate the risk, but your digital shadow is already compromised. Insurance companies use algorithms to monitor your life habits and limit or deny coverage. Health providers determine if your cancer is worth treating. Search results and news feeds are skewed to bias mood and influence your vote, engineering social uprisings on a massive scale. You are now less valuable than the data you produce. This is the new reality. Going dark is no longer an option. With threats to personal freedom rising, many are stepping forward. Whistleblowers, activists, and hackers have drawn their battle lines, putting the establishment on watch. But are they threats themselves, or have they become freedom's last line of defense?
As we see with the watchdog symbol, it looks like the seal of Saturn, meaning the planet Saturn, as we know, is known as is Satan's planet. Notice that it's exactly the same as the Watchdogs logo, and it's also the same as the Freemasons logo, so it also looks like the Satanic Baphomet. As you see, looks like the Freemason logo. See there, the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eyes on the wall. The one eye, the owl, simulating the Illumin, the Freemasons, because they worship the owl, the all-seeing eye. You'll see this through the whole of the game. It's the Illuminati symbol. Exactly, because this is what gaming is used for, to promote the Illuminati, to dumb people down.
This is a nightmare. It has to be.
Ritual.
You down there, please. Do something. Help me. No.
The Keepers will. They will not rest until this world belongs to their overlords.
Trying to tell us of the coming future. 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew for FEMA. I don't know if that's them trying to say something about future martial law. And I do realize, guys, that this game is a post-apocalyptic game to America, and that could pertain to that, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to look around and see another guy load up a map talking about this, where he shows these eyes here, and he thinks they're the all-seeing eyes of the Illuminati Triangle.
Welcome to the cult of Baphomet.
Sisters and brothers of Baphomet, we here dedicate the life of our beloved sister Jeanne to the glory and power of the wisdom of Baphomet.
We stand together in gratitude to you, Jeanne, for your bravery. I yield this, my body, for the good of my sisters and brothers in Baphomet. We honor your sacrifice.
You sure you asked it the right thing?
I know this, I know that symbol. That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two come together in only one vein.
What's happening? I can't move.
Your DNA communes with the apple. You have activated it.
Let me go!
On the 72nd day before the moment of awakening, you, birthed from our loins and the loins of our enemies, the end and the beginning, whom we abhor and honor. The final journey commences. There is one who would accompany you through the gate. She lies not within our sight. The cross darkens the horizon.
hearing these monsters or these zombies or whatever it is that you're hearing, some scream, some roar, some screech, like in the Alien movies, right? What are you actually hearing? I want you to think about this for a minute. All of you, what are you hearing? What are you hearing when you hear these roar? Why would an animal roar? Why would an animal screech? You see, what we do, or what I used to do, when we wanted to go and get sounds, for instance, a gorilla makes an incredible roar for a dragon, right? Or a tiger or a lion. A bear, right? So we have all this big catalog of screams and roars and what, but what do we have to do to get that? Do we go out in nature and just hope that the bear does that? No, we go to a zoo or some animal holding place for the pound for dogs, etc. And in order to get those sounds, you have to poke and prod and torture these animals. You're hearing the absolute suffering and pain of these animals. You're hearing a captive animal who is being tortured essentially to get the sound. I'll give you an example. When you want a really good high-pitched screech that you would put to the Alien movies, for instance, you would go and record pigs getting castrated. They don't give them any kind of Novocaine or anything to numb their pain. They just snip. And do not. There's no empathy whatsoever towards these beautiful, beautiful creatures. They cause them pain, and we're there with our boom mics to record, on our shotgun mics to record that pain, and you get these. In terms of my art that I used to participate in, you get these perfect, wonderful screams that can be applied to these monsters that you're hearing in these video games. But what you're really hearing is the suffering, the pain, the absolute anguish of these beautiful creatures who are held captive and tortured. Now, to me, that is enough to stop playing video games. That is enough to say I can't do this and I can't participate in this horror anymore. Now I know, because I'm hyper empathetic, that most people probably would not take that position, but for me that's enough. That is the crisis of conscience. That is enough for me to know that, now for you to know that you can't ignore it anymore, and that when you hear those screams, next time you play that game or watch that movie, you're hearing pain, you're hearing suffering, and it's giving you pleasure. That's disgusting.
You tell me that all the time they do this? It's never simulated with a computer or something like that?
Oh sure. You take, so what you do is you take the gorilla scream or you take the bear scream, and if you listen, you'll hear, for instance, scraping metal, or what else did I used to use? Like scraping metal is the best, because you add the scraping metal to the to the sound of that roar, and it creates like a monster type of sound. You can combine different animals and make different sounds. The TIE fighter. Remember Star Wars?
Yes.
The sound that the TIE fighter makes. Yeah, that's an elephant screaming backwards. And it turns out that they were right all those years, that video games do, in fact, and are designed to affect the empathy level, the moral compass of children, especially, and adults. So as soon as I heard this interview, that was it. That was the click. That was what I call my crisis of conscience. I said, what the hell am I doing? Here I have these demons on my screen that I'm making for Resident Evil. And I went around and I asked the other guys, because some of them were Christians, some of them were not. And And I asked them, I said, how is it that, do you ever get bothered by this? Is there something about this that makes you want to stop doing this because you're supporting something that is against your religion or against your moral fiber or whatever it is that affects you? And they said, oh yeah, absolutely. And essentially their answer is, but I have children, I have this, I'm sold out. I sold out. I can't stop this. No matter how bloody and gory and disgusting and immoral it gets, I can't stop this. And I kept asking people, and I kept getting the same answer. And to me, that was the wrong answer. That is what made me stop, because I was like, I don't want to be you. I'm at this point making, getting close to making probably $100,000, $100,000 a year, which is pretty good. I was up to $30 an hour, I believe, something like that, 35. And I quit. I said, no, I don't want to be you. I don't want to get myself into debt, have children, get married, etc., only to become you, a sellout, a self-professed sellout. I don't want to be you. And it was that interview and later on a video that I saw of the same thing that made me quit, because I am creating the content to destroy children's empathy and adults. I'm creating the content and the sounds to make demons come to life. Why am I doing this? This is not who I am. Yes, it sounds cool. Kids, kids, when they hear what I did for a living, kids were like, oh, that's so cool. And it sounds really cool. But the reality of it is this. It's disgusting. It's a monstrous, horrible thing to do for a living. And I don't know if people can really relate to that or grasp that, but that is my story. That is how I quit, because I could not be a part of what I was creating to further destroy whatever moral compass is left in people. Separate yourself from these systems, from these governments, from these nations. Go to the hills, go to the rocks, whatever. Do not try to live amongst those who are not like-minded. Why the hell do you think I got out of LA so fast? Right? I don't want to be in LA. LA is a shithole. LA is the most immoral, disgusting place you'll ever be. I saw people bring their kids to Hollywood Boulevard where I worked. I used to work right across from where they hold the awards. And the Chinese Grauman Theater was right down the street, right? People would bring their children there, and I'm like, how could you bring children to this disgusting place? It's disgusting. It's really dirty, and it's there's nothing redeeming about this. Why would you bring your children here? It's just that we don't have the kind of culture that has that moral law behind it, that moral conscience. We've all grown up thinking that disgusting shit is normal. So I'm not going to ban anybody. I'm not going to say you can't do this. I just want to get the fuck away from you. I want to get the hell away from you and start my own society with like-minded people who don't want anything to do with that. You see, you don't try to defeat it. You don't try to stop Babylon. You don't try to stop the disgusting nature of Hollywood and everybody that's involved in that. You leave it. You stop participating in it. Yeah. And you find people who are like-minded, right? That's my personal take on it. I got to talk to the writers of the scripts who would often attend the meetings. And one of their biggest complaints was that they had to agree to change their script. They in order for a company, a games company, to actually publish and pay them for their script writing, they would have to agree to, of course, changes to the script. And so I'd see them cringe whenever like a line would come up and they changed the line, and they just get so upset about it, because it would be something ridiculous. Like they would say, I remember one, it was, thank God that Homeland Security was here to save us. They will change the script in order to be pro-government, pro-military, especially pro-military. So And you find that throughout all of Hollywood. But yeah, that's what their biggest complaint was, that they had to submit to the changes in the scripts, and it would always, like I said, always be pro-military, pro-government, or it would be kind of what you look into, which is this sort of esoteric, even theosophical kind of stuff that nobody really would see. The checkered floor, for instance, or the Masonic stuff,
or some kind of numbers, right, with significance.
Right. This is why I quit. Just keep in mind, Hollywood, the wood of the holly tree, which not by accident is what Harry Potter's wand is made out of. That is the holy sacred wood of witchcraft.
So in this case, the elites. Do you think it would be possible that they would make sure that they, for example, when they keep their families, they try to also keep that toxicity remaining through like the psychopathy going to the next generation, and very careful with who they select to be the next wife, or
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I would probably, I would agree with that. I hate to say it, and every once in a while they have one that gets away and exposes a little something, but. Yeah, I hate to say it, but that is my opinion. Yes.
Do you really think they're ready for that? After everything you've seen, everything you've done?
No. Not yet.
But soon. We have made our own mistakes, became insulated from the world we sought to control. And whatever they may think, the night is far from over. But that will change. And you will help us change even as we teach you. This time we will do it right.
And who are we? Who are we really?
We are the invisible hand. We are the Illuminati. We come before and after. We are forever. And eventually, we will lead them into the day.
So what do you think of transhumanism? Because I've seen a lot of transhumanist propaganda and media and in video games today. So what do you think? Do you think that plays a part, and what should we do with that?
Oh, we just did a show on this actually about black goo and the Black Awakening and all that stuff. It's very scary to me. What's happening with that? It's portrayed in games and movies, hundreds and hundreds of movies. This notion of what we're really talking about is programmable matter, right? So if you consider that what is matter? Matter can be anything from an issue that's brought up in court to pus to anything that exists is basically called matter. So if you think about the notion of God's creation or the design of nature, you could say, if you wanted to, you could say that we are all programmed matter. We are all programmed according to the laws of nature. Excuse me, right? If you again applying the metaphor, we're all programmable matter. We are set to exist in a situation where we need air, we need water, we need food, we need love, we need all these things, right? We need what is the creation of God, i.e., Jehovah, right? So, and again, once you understand what that means, existence itself, then the universe and the atmosphere and everything else, then you understand, okay, we need God to exist. We are part of God, in other words. We are part of the whole. And that's a beautiful concept, one that the church will never teach because it wants to keep you away. Religion is more responsible for a lack of spirituality in people than anything. So if you consider that, and you consider that we are matter and we are essentially, if you will, programmed genetically and epigenetically in our bodies to what is nature. And you look around, you see they're geoengineering, they're changing the air quality, it seems like they're almost terraforming the earth, right? To make it more friendly to whatever. It's what it seems like. And so if you consider the notion right now, what they're working on is this programmable matter, which is smart dust, and which is, you can have a vat of black goo, as they call it, and you can program into that vat the notion that you want to put a design in, and it's a chair, because you need an extra chair for your party tonight. And out of that vat, for these molecules, this matter, these nano machines, this technology clumps to each other and forms a chair. And you take that chair out of that vat, you use it for the night, and when you're done with it, you put it back into the vat, and you program it to become goo again. And so the nanobots detach from each other and become this sort of programmable matter. It's just waiting for its next command. This is real technology. They've already done this. All right. So I'm not just speaking science fiction here. This is real stuff. What we're talking about is what we're scared about is something called ecophagy, which is where programmable matter starts replicating itself and programming itself to the point where humans no longer have control of it. That is perhaps, and the programmable matter keeps growing and growing because it has the entire Earth to use as fuel, and it takes over the entire ecosystem. That is actually a theory posited back in the 1970s when all this started happening. It was this technology growth, and this is why I'm against technology at this point. I'm ready to go back, and that doesn't mean I'm against a plow. It doesn't mean I'm against something that I can use manually, but this kind of technology that is completely out of control, which is the very basis of the movie The Matrix, an out-of-control technology, or the Terminator series, an out-of-control technology. This is much more frightening because this is smart dust that can enter into your body and change you. Right? It can change your genetic makeup. It can alter your consciousness. So imagine that getting out of control and taking over, just changing the entire biosphere of the world. So I find that a very frightening and unfortunately very realistic concept. I got to tell people, man, spiritual awakening is not a pleasant thing. It's a painful journey. It will require you to break down